on the road, far from home. But you don't have to feel alone. Brave and strong, together we will be. It's our destiny. We will be heroes. We can change the world if we try. I go where you go. Forever friends, you and I. We will be heroes. Battle Dimension Pokemon.
Since recently, we got the second trailer for Pokemon Legends CA, which not only showcased the starters of the game, which, spoilers ahead, are Chikorita, Tepig, and Totodile, but also the return of Mega Evolution, since we saw some familiar Megas in the trailer. Which might mean we might also maybe get new Mega Evolutions for older Pokemon. And since I changed my art style, I decided to draw 6 Mega Evolutions that I think might fit in Pokemon Legends CA. But anyways, let's start with the first one, shall we? For the first Pokemon I think that deserves a Mega Evolution would be Swoobat. I think Swoobat fits this concept since I can see a huge potential in its design. But I can also expect a type change in its Mega Evolution. Similar how Megas like Mega Charizard X or Mega Lopunny swap or gain a second typing next to their original type. So when Swoobat is exposed to Swoobinite, it Mega evolves into Mega Swoobat, a Psychic Dark type. Of course, this form of Swoobat is still based on the heart-shaped nose bat and the horseshoe bat. But it also takes inspiration from a mad scientist. This is why the dark typing comes in, to reference how scientists can be sometimes evil. But not all of them are evil. And not to forget, with a Mega Evolution comes an ability. So I came up with this ability called Shadow Wings, which changes Swoobat's flying type moves into dark type moves. Oh, and not to forget, in these videos, there will be a Pokédex entry. But well, Rotom isn't here right now since he is going for an upgrade. So I'm going to explain the Pokédex entry for Mega Swoobat. Upon exposure to Swoobinite, Swoobat undergoes Mega Evolution. Its brain expands dramatically, granting it immense psychic power. It's said a Mega Swoobat can effortlessly lift heavy stones with its mind. This Pokemon sustains itself by snatching various berries at incredible speeds, a testament to its enchantment agility and dark cunning. And here are Mega Swoobat's stats. Feel free to pause it if you want to check them out. For the next Pokemon I think that deserves a Mega Evolution would be Appletun. Listen, Appletun's my favorite wild Pokemon from Galar since look at this little guy. And besides, since last year we got the Scarlet and Violet DLC, the Teal Mask, and the Indigo Disc, Appletun gained new forms, those being Dipplin and Hydrapple. But I'm more into Appletun since I think Appletun can also receive a Mega Evolution. By the way, I don't plan giving Flapple or Hydrapple a Mega Evolution sadly. So when Appletun is exposed to Appletunite, it Mega evolves into Mega Appletun. Still a Grass Dragon type. Mega Appletun is still based on a apple pie, but now the top of its pie-like shell is opened, revealing the hot, steaming apple pie filling. Of course, it's apples, by the way. While designing Mega Appletun, I thought its eyes were its ears since I thought he had eyes underneath its apple on its head. But I was wrong. Of course, I don't give Mega Appletun a new ability, so I will move on into its dex entry and stats. Upon exposure to Appletonite, Appleton's apple pie-like shell dramatically tears open, revealing the sweet, steaming filling within. The intense aroma of cinnamon that wafts from its exposed core is irresistible, attracting hordes of hungry Pokemon, with Snorlax and Munchlax being the most frequent visitors. While this leaves it vulnerable, Mega Appleton seems to relish the attention, sharing its delicious bounty. Here are Appleton's stats. Now, for the third Mega Evolution. If you remember, there is a fake CoroCoro Leaks magazine that got released on the internet which showcased what might come to Pokemon X and Y. And I found this image, which showed not only a Mega Scolipede, but also a Mega Darkrai, Mega Chandelier, along with a Mega Evolution that came in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Mega Sableye. But we are focusing on Scolipede. I think Scolipede is a Pokemon that has a huge potential for a Mega Evolution, similar to Swoobat, but instead we got a Mega Audino. And I have no idea why Game Freak chose Audino to get a Mega Evolution. Oh, by the way, no hate to Game Freak. They could have gave it to Scolipede instead. But anyways, when Scolipede is exposed to Scolinite, it evolves into Mega Scolipede. Still a bug poison type. Not much to say about Scolipede's design since it's still based on the Centipede, but now it takes more of a Centaur-like design, but I'm not sure how to describe it. But this new form has a new ability called Reflective Carapace, which when Scolipede gets hit with a Psychic type move, it reduces the damage and sends the attack back, dealing 1 out of 8 damage to the opponent. Now here is Mega Scolipede's Dex entry. Upon exposure to Scolinite, its body swells up with potent toxins, and its scales harden to an almost impenetrable rock-like armor. These sharp scales are said to contain such concentrated poison that a mere glaze can incapacitate even the largest Pokemon. And here are Scolipede's stats. For the fourth Pokemon, I thought of one of my Pokemon team's party members, Sylveon. Since Sylveon was introduced in Generation 6 with the Fairy type, I think Sylveon deserves a Mega Evolution. Plus, we have seen a ton of evolutions in the trailer, with one of them being Sylveon. So, I present to you Mega Sylveon. Still a pure Fairy type. I forgot to mention that when Sylveon is holding Sylvenite, it evolves into Mega Sylveon. But anyways, Mega Sylveon takes inspiration from the Masquerade masks, since we can see Mega Sylveon wear one to reference it. And since Kalos is based on France, Masquerade masks fit it. Once again, Sylveon does not need any new abilities since its first ability was replaced with Misty Terrain. But anyways, here is Sylveon's Dex entry. Upon exposure to Sylvenite, Sylveon sprouts numerous additional ribbons that it uses to ensnare and manipulate opponents. The bow on its ear morphs into a protective mask, shielding its face during intense battles. It's said that Mega Sylveon's ribbons are incredibly strong, capable of effortlessly lifting a Snorlax. Here are Mega Sylveon's stats. Another Pokemon on my team that I think should get a Mega Evolution is Weavile. I have seen a huge potential in Weavile getting a Mega Evolution, but sadly, it does not have any. Well, if you count fan games like Pokemon Xenoverse or any other fan game. But anyways, when Weavile is exposed to Weavile, it Mega Evolves into... Mega Weavile is still an Ice Dark type. For some reason, it kinda looks like a sloth than a weasel, but I guess that was a coincidence. But anyways, Mega Weavile's design gains some sharp ice claws, which is meant to reference Sneasler, an alternative evolution of Sneasel in the Hisui region. But it also takes inspiration from a creature from the Monster Tamer game, Temtem. And the creature in question is Pokis. I know it's not an ice type but a mental type, but I inspired it by Pokis' red scarf around its neck. Now, onto Mega Weavile's Pokédex entry. Upon exposure to Weavile, its body becomes longer, allowing Weavile to move swiftly across snow-covered terrains. Its icy claws, now even more potent, can freeze an entire lake solid in an instant, trapping any fish Pokemon within. And here are Mega Weavile's stats. And for the last Mega Evolution of this video, it's none other than the Kalos pseudo-legendary Goodra. I saw a ton of people say Goodra needs to be poison type for some reason. Well, I can agree on that because we can see some toxic green stuff on Goodra's arms. So when Goodra is exposed to Goodranite, it Mega Evolves into Mega Goodra, a dragon poison type. For this design, I decided to add more of the toxic stuff to Goodra, since Goodra can learn 2 poison type moves at level 1, those being Acid Spray and Poison Tail, as well as some poison type moves by TM like Toxic or Sludge Bomb. But anyways, Goodra is still based on
Blue Carkol,
a mythical beast from French folklore. And I've got to say, it's pretty terrifying, not gonna lie. And of course, Goodra gets a new ability called Toxic Entrapment. If a grass-type Pokemon attacks Mega Goodra, it will get trapped and won't be able to switch out. But don't worry, if you're using a Venusaur, Vileplume, or any poison-type Pokemon, you're fine to defeat Goodra. But now, let's head onto the Dex entry. Upon exposure to Goodranite, Goodra's body produces an incredibly potent and toxic substance that oozes from its pores. This viscous fluid is exceptionally sticky, capable of mobilizing grass-type Pokemon with ease, trapping them in a toxic embrace. Here are Mega Goodra's stats. And those were my concept Mega Evolutions for Pokemon Legends CA. I'm pretty happy how this video and the art came out, and I can't wait to make more art in the future. But anyways, I hope I will see you guys in the next video. See ya!